Welcome everyone to this new video. We're going to discuss questions 1 to 5 of chapter 22, Frontiers of Microeconomics. This is a book of Gregory Mankiw's Principles of Economics, 7th edition. So the first question says, each of the following situations involves moral hazard. In each case, identify the principal and the agent and explain why there is asymmetric information. How does the action described reduce the problem of moral hazard? When we talk about moral hazard, remember the information that we presented throughout the chapter is something that there is a risk inside the situation. Because maybe in order to pursue better results, you avoid being correct. You avoid being behave. Just because it's better, you will have better results in that way. So remember, when we talk about asymmetric information, this is the other case of symmetric information, where both parts they have the same quantity of information. So this is when one party has more information than the other. So remember, the principal is the one that depends on the behavior of the agent, and the agent doesn't incorporate in some way, or doesn't get, or doesn't have the utility or the benefits of the principal. So at the end of the day, the agent doesn't care too much about the principal results, and he or she pursues their own utility, their own satisfaction, their own profits. So this is the point. So for example, the first case, when we have landlords require tenants to pay security deposits. So who are the agent, or who is the agent and who is the principal? Naturally, the landlord is the principal, and then the tenants should be the agent. Sorry for this misspelling, agent and principal. And then naturally, it's really difficult from landlord identify if the tenant for real will pay the rent. So this is the point of asymmetric information, because obviously the tenant will say, okay, I will pay for sure, but you don't know that the unique party that has that information are their own tenants, because they really know the economic situations and then the action that they will follow. Because maybe it's not just because of economic situation, it's maybe because they are kind of irresponsible, disorganized, and culturally behave in that way. So maybe they will delay in their payments, maybe they will pay less, maybe they will get trouble. So then definitely this should be a problem to the landlord. So then naturally with deposits, this could be kind of a signal, because when the landlord receives this deposit, will guarantee in some way that the tenant will pay. Because if the tenant can pay a deposit plus the rent, it's kind of a signal. Otherwise, could be that maybe they will just pay the first month, and naturally it should be economic deposit, economic security. In that case, maybe something will happen. The second situation is about firms that they compensate top executives with options of to buy company stock at a given price in the future. So then naturally the firms are the principal and the top executives are the agent. Again, the firms, they hire top executives. Obviously, they make a process to choose them. However, they cannot identify for real if they will exert effort or not. So then, a way to include the utility or the profits of the firms inside the effort of the top executive plus the salary should be the stocks, right? In that case, represented with options. Then, with this option, which is not more than an action that you will uh, get in the future at a determined price, then naturally you will get that you will exert effort to work more, because if you work more, likely the firm will get more profits, and if the firm get more profits, likely this firm will get higher prices. So then should be better situation, because with the price given now and you sell it to a higher price, the gap between this option and the real price of the firm, this should be a benefit for the top executives. So then naturally that's the problem. The problem moral hazard in that situation is that firms, they cannot easily monitor top executives' behavior, they exert or not effort. Then naturally with this situation, top executives, they will have more incentives to exert effort. Third, point C. Car insurance companies offer discounts to customers who install anti-theft devices in their cars. Again, in this case, the insurance companies, they are the principals, and naturally they can identify the behavior of the consumers, the clients, the insurers. Then the insured, so they should be the agent, the customers. Then the customers with anti-theft devices will have less possibilities to suffer a robbery. And furthermore, we can say that when people acquire this kind of goods, you see that they have like more precaution on that situation, right? So then likely because of maybe a situation that they forgot something and they lost the car because they left open or something like that, obviously this is kind of a signal, because if you buy an anti-theft devices not just for taking the discount but also because you want to take care of your good, this is a signal that those people, they will take more care about the car at the end of the day. So then the insurance companies can identify if the insurance is possible or not, or it's something like in some way like doesn't take care too much about the good. Then second, suppose that the Live Long and Prosper Health Insurance Company charges $5,000 annually for a family insurance policy. The company's president suggests that the company raise the annual price to $6,000 to increase its profits. If the firm followed this suggestion, what economic problem might arise? Would the firm's pool of customers tend to become more or less healthy on average? Would the company's profits necessarily increase? This is a really interesting question that you can take in different angles. So naturally, I would say that there are different answers, but let's see if you share our answer. So naturally, when the price increases, some people will avoid paying the insurance, right? Imagine that you can just afford 5,000, and maybe you're healthy, and you say, okay, I don't care, because actually I don't use that health insurance, so for me it doesn't matter. And then could be the case that maybe you really need it because you are unfortunately an unhealthy person. So you say, okay, I will pay that. So then could be that case. But I would like to avoid in different part, because maybe the ones that will not pay tend to be the ones that they don't need too much, right? But actually it will depend on the pool of people that they pay that insurance. Let's split on two groups. The first group, imagine that we have a group that they are risk averse. What does it mean? It means people that they prefer to avoid taking risks. So when they avoid it, they prefer to be insured naturally. So they prefer to pay. Now we need to review it inside that group. Who are they? They are healthy or they aren't? Then, if we have naturally more healthy or we have less healthy people inside that group, then the other group, the other situation should be that we have risk taker. A risk taker is a person that prefer to, as the name says, to take risk, right? So if you are healthy enough, you say, okay, I'm going to take it, maybe. So then, it should be the case that they're more healthy and they are less healthy. Naturally, when we have more people that they are more healthy and they are risk averse, so they are not going to take too much, or we are not going to have too much claims, right? So then, and they will pay more. So naturally, the increase of the income or the profits should be guaranteed. If we have more less healthy people, and naturally we pay more, right? And then the situation of the claims should be the same as before. The income compared with before should be higher. Please apologize because his should be higher, because at the end of the day you are going to receive more money and you are going to assume the same claims as before. Then the other situation, risk taker, what do? Naturally, they avoid taking this claim, this insurance. So they are going to avoid paying more. So they are not going to take it, and then the income should be lower. In this situation of less healthy and they are a risk taker, so then again they are going to avoid taking this insurance, and the income should be lower, or it depends, should be kind of ambiguous better, because if this $1,000 that maybe some people will pay compensate in some way the less healthy people, but let's say at the end of the day that because less healthy people they will anyway pay less people to these $6,000. The next question says, a case study in this chapter describes how a boyfriend can signal his love to a girlfriend by giving an appropriate gift. Do you think saying I love you can also serve as a signal? Why or why not? Well, naturally it's really a subtle question. I don't know how to answer, but just to make some draft, I would say that maybe if in a culture is really appreciated, this should be a signal, right? For example, just I'm going to take a risk today, something maybe extremely subtle. In European countries, they are not like really love people that they start to say or to kiss a lot. They have like more respect to the space of the other, and when you go to this stage, maybe it's really appreciated because someone says I love you is because you feel from your heart, right? So maybe this should be a signal. But maybe if you say all the time, as unfortunately here in Latin America, likely, for example, you get some app or something Tinder, even you don't know that person, and the first time that you're chatting with that person, maybe you can say even I love you. Obviously, this not to be a signal in some way. So it really depends on the culture, and not only the culture of the country or the continent in general, but maybe the situation of the couple as well. Then, Some AIDS activists believe that the health insurance companies should not be allowed to ask applicants if they are infected with the HIV virus that causes AIDS. Would this rule help or hurt those who are HIV positive? Well, the point is like first I want to emphasize that I'm going to roll out all the ethic issues because this is really a hot topic, but I'm just going to focus in economic matters. So when the point is like naturally HIV positive will have problems because in terms of economic situation we have a problem of asymmetric information. When you provide that you are HIV positive, you take out this issue and we are facing a situation of symmetric information. Both parts, the agent, which should be the HIV positive person, and the insurance will have the same information. Okay, then they will have problems. Why? Because the risk that you need more, the health insurance should be higher compared with a healthy person. So naturally, you need to pay more for a higher price. Would it help or hurt those who are not HIV positive? At the end of the day, it will help because the prime that was charged before was like kind of an average because you don't know if you are positive or not. But now that I know that you are not a HIV positive, I can charge you a lower price. Then, would it exacerbate or mitigate a problem of adverse selection in market for health insurance? Naturally, it mitigates that situation because you avoid asymmetric information. Then, the other situation, do you think it would increase or decrease the number of people without health insurance? At the end of the day, maybe it will decrease because from some part, HIV positive that they weren't HIV positive that they had before the insurance, they will still get the insurance. Naturally, they will pay less. But maybe because of the price is higher or for the HIV positive, they will avoid it. So then we need to go deeper in the situation if they are risk takers or they are in the part of risk averse in some way. The last question says, Ken walks into an ice cream parlor and the waiter says, we have vanilla and chocolate today. Then Ken says, I'll take vanilla. Waiter, I almost forgot. We also have a strawberry. Ken answers, in that case, I'll take chocolate. So then what standard property of decision making is Ken violating? Then we need to reread naturally. This is the section of Onarro's impossibility theorem. Then this should be the independence of irrelevant alternatives because obviously strawberry doesn't take part in this situation because at the end of the day I'm just deciding between chocolate and vanilla, and then if it's a strawberry, what should I change if I'm going to take my decision again between vanilla and chocolate? Then first, vanilla is preferred to chocolate. Then, under third option, the strawberry, chocolate is preferred to vanilla. So naturally, it violates the independence of irrelevant alternatives. I hope it has helped. I know that this is kind of subtle. I really appreciate your comments. And then see you at next video. Bye bye.